introduced at the request of Richard Daines, the commissioner of New York State Department of Health, calls for changes to the law in order to make recommended inoculation, because, see, the hoax, it's now been exposed that it was a hoax, and that was getting them about 95%. But now the hoax is over. The criminals' hoax is over. See? There's no law. They're criminals. What does it take? A government that lies all the time to you. Oh, God. I care about you, you idiot police. You idiot school teachers. You idiot Americans. Stop being idiots. Stop it! I've had hundreds of guests and scientists and doctors on. I've read all the source documents. I've played clips of the father of the polio vaccine admitting it had cancer viruses in it and more, and AIDS, HIV. I've proven it. They're killing you. Why do you want to die? Why do you want to believe their lies? What is your problem? What is your major malfunction? You ought to thank God for me up here warning you that I've still got my head screwed on straight and I'm angry and upset. Folks, I have got as much instinct as a cow. Humans used to have the best instincts, the smartest, the most cunning, the best sixth sense. You've had it bred out of you, engineered out of you, poisoned out of you. You get a bunch of cows at the slaughterhouse, and that's why they get them in tiny squeeze chutes and then only bring them into the main slaughter area one at a time. In most plants, and they usually got an air gun that fires a bolt into their head, because if you get other cows in there and they see that going on, they'll go nuts. Nuts like you've never seen, breaking their legs, ramming through things, doing things. A cow will fight back. And that's all I'm doing, folks. I'm in the chute, just slobbering and freaking out. And you're sitting there drooling like a bunch of idiots behind me. They got one cow up hanging by its legs in front of you, blood pouring out its neck in huge pools, and you're just snickering, telling me that isn't one of our fellow cows getting their throats slit right in front of us, you idiots. Oh, God, I can't do it anymore. I can't. I want out of here. I want to go to some happy, friendly country where this isn't going on. There's evil going on all around you. They're feeding on your neighbors down the street. But you don't know your neighbors anymore, so you're not aware of what's happening. I get so mad reading this article, I just can't control myself. Oh, Jesus. Assembly Bill 10942, introduced at we're only a few years away from cops coming to your house and SWAT teaming you if you don't shoot your kids up. And I'm just telling the cops right now, you're pushing and pushing. The globalists know people are going to fight back. Then they're going to say, see, there is homegrown terrorism. And then you're going to all get your butts kicked, and they're going to bring in foreign troops. You understand? You pushed far enough. You slime ball, think you're tough punks. Assembly Bill 10942, introduced at the request of Richard Daines, the commissioner of the New York State Department of Health, calls for changes to the law in order to make recommended inoculation compulsory in order for children to attend school. The bill would also permit the administration of vaccines for sexually transmitted infections to minors without parental consent. Now that is a huge. They're already taking your kids for abortions without your consent. Your 12 or 13-year-old, in some cases as young as 10, they got to have a letter to go to the zoo with the government training camp, but not to have a baby ripped out of them. But you don't care. It's all part of being scum. You let the scum, filth, degenerate, viperous, murdering, trash, commie government just have its way with your kids while they train them to tattle on you and everything else. And you've had all your instincts sucked out of you, where you think a bunch of vampiric scumbag government leering over your children, the state stating in California's Supreme Court that the state owns your children. Remember that? And that homeschooling's illegal in California. You're out of control. The government's dirtbag. The bill would also permit the administration of vaccines for sexually transmitted infections to minors without parental consent. Merck, when they're not killing you with their Vioxx, they've got their Gardasil, which admittedly has killed a whole bunch of people and causes horrible autoimmune things that look like Ebola with blood pouring out of every orifice. Go read it. Had women on, it's almost killed on this show. And it's been in the news, it's killed a bunch. And then they say on the insert, go look it up on their own website. It says, doesn't protect you from cancer, doesn't protect you from this type of virus. We think it might protect you from a few strains of 350. It might cover 4 to 6. But if you already have the virus, which around half the population has, of men and women, then it gives you a 45% increase in cancer. Oh, they know it gives you cancer, but you're too stupid. You think the government gives you sweet milk, and you sit there suckling off of its snake breast, when you don't understand it's pure death. I have to watch my fellow humans march into the death camps in front of me. But it's all done in an orderly fashion of ignorance and moronicness. You hear all the scientists and guests and New World Order people I have on who I tear apart. And it's not because I'm smart. I understand the system. I study it. It's what I do. I know what I'm talking about. I've told you the truth and nothing but the truth. And this is why I want to reach people. This is why I want to get out to more people. This is why I want to bust my butt and build a studio and do it myself and tape a TV show and try to get it on 5 nights a week on Dish Network, because then we can hype it and get big listenership and have street teams out getting the word out. My God, if it was all paid for, I'd have no commercials on it. As it is, it'll probably have commercials. I mean, I need your help, man. I just want to warn people. Listen, you go warn people about how this stuff's killing them. You write articles. You go out and tell them. I just want to tell people. I just want to reach people. Because it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. It isn't going to stop. They do everything they said they were going to do. Right down the line. They say they're going to do this, they do it. They say they're going to do that, and they've said... So I've seen their whole battle plan. They admit what they're going to do. And up here, it's killing 80 to 90% of us, flying over, spraying us in the end, killing us in mass, activating cancer systems they put in us, all this stuff. And they're already up to here, and I'm like, my God, they keep doing everything they say they're going to do. My God, they're really going to do it. My God, warn people! And they're evil. They're so evil. And I just wish good people would wake up and fight back against this. I was screaming so loud earlier, I tore something up my throat. I was coughing up blood earlier. It's because my soul is torn apart. I am just so angry. I don't have the strength or the will. I'm trying to push a rock up a hill. I need your help. I just want to warn people. I just want to arrest all these people that have done this. It's their own documents, their own treason. They all write books about how they're going to enslave us and how it's funny and how we're dumb. And then you just sit there laughing at me while they're laughing at you. I want to get them. I want to get people that want to get me. I don't go around looking for fights, but I sure as will stand up against somebody that starts one with me. And I've tried to get away from it. I've tried to run away. I've tried to tell myself it's going to be all right. I've tried to tell myself we're going to win and it's going to be okay, but not unless we put out a full effort. I've tried to avoid this. I've tried to deny this. This is something you can't run away from this. You don't have a choice. They're not going to stop coming. They're not going to stop pushing. They're organized. They're focused. They're coming to kill you. From the bottom of my heart, go research the facts. Research it all. The bill would also permit the administration of vaccines for sexually transmitted infections to minors without parental consent. God, that's the state becoming the parents. Separate sections of the bill would also come into effect next year, with others becoming law in 2010. So there you have it. No more do you control your children or do they control it. The state, under the new eugenic social system, controls you. ACHAMP, a national nonpartisan political action organization formed by parents to support of children with neurodevelopmental and communication disorders, has called for rejection of the bill and is demanding the passage of A5468-S3031 in the Senate, a bill that would give individuals a right to a philosophical exemption. They don't have to give us. See, we already have the right. They're now claiming we don't have that right. The group's press release highlights the key points of the bill. My God. All children at birth will be injected. If you don't like it, a SWAT team will murder you. Yeah, you resist, they'll come kill you. All children, it's hell on earth. It's war against us. Eugenicists coming with their HIV-filled injectors, with their cancer-filled injectors, with their mercury-filled. There's only maybe 2% of the population that knows they're poisoning the water and food and vaccines by design. They're counting on you to be too cowardly to admit the truth, because it's scary to admit it and find it out. To not just let me be some nut on the radio, but to go look at the claims I've made. But make no mistake, those of you that have committed the genocide, those of you that got 40 million dead Africans on your hands, you're going to pay one day. You're going to swing from the end of a rope. You know why? Because you keep pushing and you never stop. And you're going to push us up against a wall where a lot of these cowardly, dumbed-down people aren't going to have any opportunity but to fight back. We're going to kick your butt. A lot of us are going to die in the process. But in the end, you're going down. Know that. And your family names and dynasties will be synonymous with evil in the dictionary.